Welcome to Live with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Hettiger, and friends, I am really looking forward to this conversation because many of you are going to be listening to it. You probably recognize my voice if you've heard this podcast a few times, but there are definitely voices you recognize, and then there are voices you feel. Our guest today has one of those voices that you feel. And he has been part of the heartbeat of St. Louis Blues hockey, helping to fill arenas and also create these just amazing, magical moments, especially back in 2019. I am so thrilled and honored to be joined by the one, the only Charles Glenn. Charles, it's good to see you.
Good morning. How are you?
I am so well. How are you, my friend?
Life is beautiful.
Isn't that a nice thing to say?
It's the truth.
Oh. Now, some people are watching this right now, and maybe your daughter later too. And to kind of kick it off, I want to point out some bling you have on your hand.
Yes, ma'am.
What are you rocking today?
This is the Stanley Cup ring from 2019.
How heavy is that thing?
Very. Would you like to feel?
Am I allowed to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this is our first show and tell on the podcast.
Sure.
I've never felt or
Here
held.
you go.
Oh, my goodness. And for our listening audience, I'm going to get emotional. It says Stanley Cup champions, of course, with the Stanley Cup, all diamonds, the blue note. St. Louis Blues, the arches on this. And it says Glenn.
You're right.
With who is that hoisting up the Stanley Cup? I can't quite make that out with the NHL
It's a player
logo.
I don't really know, but inside the ring
Yeah.
has all the victories
Yes.
that we had in the playoffs.
Against the Boston Bruins, 4-2, 4-3, 4-2, 4-3. Man, all of them close games.
Oh, right.
What do you remember most about that playoff run now? How has it been 7 years ago?
Well,
I'm going to give this
I had
back
a-
to you so I don't break it.
oh, that's okay. Thank you. I had a feeling that we were gonna, and it's easier said than done. I had a feeling we were gonna beat Boston because we were in last place in January, and then we just build up, and we were playing Dallas for that final spot, and it went into overtime, and I was just like, I don't know who was pacing more, me or Bob Plager, but my sister and her husband were in from Kansas City, and she just looked at me and she's like, we're going to win this. I said, I don't know about it. She goes, no, we're going to win. There's no doubt about it. And they won. Mm-hmm. And my grandson was there, my granddaughter was there. All the family was there, and they were jumping up and down. So the Boston series, It was exciting. But when we lost Game 6, everybody walked out of the arena like, okay, know what to do. We know what to do, I think the only person that was really upset was my grandson. He said, we're supposed to win today. He was a little boy then. He said, we're supposed to win today. I said, we're going to win the next game. Okay. And but the Dallas series was nerve-wracking. Mm-hmm. It was nerve-wracking,
You're talking about the ending of these games and your sister saying, it's okay, we're going to win. We're going to make it. We're going to make it to the Stanley Cup Finals. Your grandson, the ending of the game. But Charles, you are basically the capital letter of the sentence that explains the entire game. You are the starting point. What is it like when you step up to that microphone ready to sing the national anthem?
I can't think about it. I can't think about the crowd until the very last note. I can't think about it. I have to think about why I'm here. I'm here sort of like a hype man. I'm here to get everybody fired up. Okay, I can think about the crowd as a whole, but not individuals, or not, oh, he's looking at me, she's looking at me, they're going to see me on TV. You can't think about that. You really can't. So I think about it after I say Home of the Brave or Home of the Blues. Then I said, I'm done. The bar is set. And I try and set the bar real high so everybody is just on fire. And that's my job. That was my job, not to just sing it, not over-sing it, but to hype people up with exact notes. Not, it's not my showcase. It's an anthem, which means everybody sings. So I try to use the exact notes to hype everybody up. And then when I say land of the free, I'm free. I am free. So I'll hold it as long as I can. And that gets everybody fired up, But, yeah.
What is so unique about singing the national anthem, specifically for the National Hockey League, is the fact that so many of the players and the fans aren't American. This isn't their national anthem.
Right.
So many from Canada, so many European players. What's that like, knowing you have this big melting pot of all of these people who truly are hanging on to every note of this nation's anthem?
I love it. Like when we play Toronto or Montreal, I have to sing "O Canada." Okay, that's fine. I try and sing it just as proud as I am of the United States, because the NHL is one family. So I'm not going to minimize their anthem. I'm going to sing it with as much pride as I can as the United States national anthem. Quick story: when I first started, they said, well, you have to sing the Canadian anthem, "O Canada," and I learned it, and so we're going to the game and we're playing Toronto. And I'm in the car and I'm like, "Oh, Canada, oh, Canada." I said, I told my wife, Nikki, "What's the words?" She goes, "Don't ask me." So I didn't know the words. And I've sang it before. I've done it before. Got on the ice. It came to me. "Oh, Canada, our home and native land." Sang the whole thing. Now, the night, our national anthem, and I'm like,
What are the
blank
words?
for like 13 seconds, and then it came to me. Because I concentrated on "O Canada" so much, the Star Spangled Banner left me for a minute. So.
And I've read and heard that the Star Spangled Banner is a very hard song to sing.
It is.
What makes it so unique and difficult?
The range is so wide. If you start off too high, you're lost, and there's no turning back. If you start off at a high key and you have to go, "And the rock is regular," if you start off too high, you'll be, ask Carl Lewis. He really didn't he just started too high, and then he got caught in that danger zone. Mm-hmm. So you have to be aware of your lows and your high notes. So before I sing, I find my low note, find my high note, and everything in between's fine. But a lot of people just jump in the water without warming up. Mm-hmm. Then they get stuck. Not their fault, they're just not thinking,
I would have to assume singing the national anthem is similar in ways to playing the actual game that you are preparing everyone for. Because it's one thing to be in the car and to go through "O Canada" or the Star Spangled Banner. Mm-hmm. It's another thing for those hockey players to be warming up. But once all the fans are in there and the excitement and the emotion, training is still there, but you have to deal with so many other things mentally to get yourself into that headspace to say,
That's true.
Don't start too high.
Right. While they're playing, the hype music and while they're skating on the ice and everything, I'm humming my notes in my ear. And I find my range there. But the crowd, I tell you what, to be honest with you, I've done the Rams games, Cardinal games, great fans. Blues, they're right on you. It's a smaller venue. So everybody is right there and they're pulling for you. And it's like I said, you can't think of the crowd, but you feel them. You feel them. You really do.
Let's go back to your beginning.
Okay.
Born in the Pacific Northwest.
Yes.
Made your way to St. Louis before you could even remember it.
Right. I was born in Fort Lewis, Washington. My father was in the Army, and my mother, she sang professionally too. Not too many gigs in Fort Lewis, though. But it's in Seattle. It's in the Seattle area, but then my grandmother said, well, I'll just raise him. So she came out to Seattle and picked me up, brought me to St. Louis when I was 15 months old. Stayed in St. Louis until 7 or 8 years old, and she goes, let's go to California. When? We're leaving next week, So we lived with my uncle in Oakland till I was like 13. And then we came back to St. Louis, moved in this city called Florissant. And I thought I moved where the Cleavers lived on Leave It to Beaver. It was nothing like Oakland. So it took me a year to get used to the difference. But I love Florissant now. I ended up loving Florissant. And then after I went to college here at Florissant Valley for a while and majored in lunch. And
majored in lunch?
And I said, well, I want to make a living singing music. So I went on the road for a while. And then I decided to go back to California. I moved to Orange County, and this was in 1986. Moved to Orange County and lived first moved to Huntington Beach, then Anaheim, then Diamond Bar. And worked in the hospital during the day, and I played gigs at night 5 nights a week. But my job was real nice. They're like, what is your heaviest days? And I told them with weekends. And so they worked my off days really well around it, so I could do nothing but sleep. It was great. I miss California, I do, but I had to leave because the year that the LA riots started, all the work just ceased. All the performing jobs, unless you were touring, it just ceased. So I came to visit my daughter, and we were playing, what would you like to do? Well, if you had one wish, you do that with your children, She goes, I wish my father would move back to St. Louis. And I'm like, oh, okay, you got me. So I moved back, and I've been here ever since.
And that was the mid-'90s.
Yes. And the last thing in my mind was hockey.
And we'll get to how that all came about, but it's in your blood to sing. Your mother had that gift.
Yes.
But when did you realize you have that gift?
I was in a group in Illinois, and I was playing drums, and we were auditioning singers. This was back in the late 70s. Okay, and you know what those times, well, you don't, but Those times are wild. And so I was playing drums in this group, and we were auditioning singers, and I didn't like any of them. So the leader of the group, his name's Jimmy Whalen, he says, well, if you don't like these singers, why don't you sing? You think you can sing. I've been singing ever since, you know. And went on the road for a while. Not with that particular group, but went on the road for a while, and I was singing rock music, hair music, you know, hair band music, you know, things. Oh, gosh. We opened up for Huey Lewis. We opened up for a bunch of startup groups, and we opened up for... I ended up opening up for a lot of rock groups for a while. And then when I moved back to St. Louis, I opened up for, oh gosh, Earth, Wind and Fire, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles, Martha Reeves. I opened up for, the list is on and on and on. And when I opened up for Earth, Wind and Fire, I found those guys to be the nicest guys. They were really nice. And then when I got married, my wife saw an ad in the paper, and they said, they need you in L.A. I said, for what? An audition. And they didn't say what the audition was for. It was for the Fifth Dimension. So I was with them for about a year and a half. So all this was a blessing. And they would let me sing, and I'd fly back to St. Louis, do the anthem, fly back and do the tour, fly back, do the anthem, you know. It was fun.
I've already learned so much about you and the fact that you're willing to take a chance and make a move when you see an opportunity. And I think that's something we could all learn from as we're sitting here with Charles Glenn, the voice that carried a city in 2019 when our Blues won the Stanley Cup championship. We're going to take our first commercial break, but I highly encourage you to share this with any Blues fans in your life, any music fans in your life. You are going to learn so much more about what it's like singing under pressure, singing in some of the biggest moments ever. We are thrilled to be spending this hour with all of you and with Charles Glenn. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Live with Laura. I'm your host, Laura Hettiger. So thrilled to be sitting across from Charles Glenn, the longtime national anthem singer for the St. Louis Blues. And Charles, I have a question for you.
Yes.
In your entire life, any idea how many times you have sang the national anthem?
I've lost count at 3.
I'm going to say way, way, way more than 3.
I lost count at 3.
3,000, 13,000.
Oh, gosh. Well, if you multiply the games by the years, plus other games, baseball games, football games, soccer games, it's been a while. It's been a while. The first anthem that I did was for the Union Convention in Anaheim, and my band was playing for the intro music and the outgoing music. And one of the people that were running the convention said, we don't have an anthem singer. He didn't show up. I said, what do you want me to do about it? He said, can you sing the national anthem? I said, I've been to baseball games, yeah. And I sang the national anthem. And I said, I think I can do this, you know?
Did they hand you the words?
No, they were in a pinch. They had like 15 minutes before the convention started. So that was the first time I did it. And it was a thrill. Years go on, and I started doing the anthem for the Rams. Keely Fimbers was in charge of marketing. She's in Los Angeles now with the Rams. And she goes, would you like to sing the anthem for the Rams? I said, sure. And I sang, and they said, they haven't lost yet. Sing again. They haven't lost yet. Okay. So that went on, and they won. They won the Super Bowl. And that was fun. But then a friend of mine that used to work for the Rams, worked for the Blues, her name's Jill Hahn. She calls me up. She goes, I got 15 seconds, and you're not supposed to know this. We have an anthem audition for the Blues. Be here at 4 o'clock. Gotta go. Bye. Click. It's 3 o'clock. So I drive down to the arena. What are you here for? I said, you know why I'm here. Oh, okay, we don't, but come on. So there were like 30 singers there, sitting in the middle row in front of the ice. And they said, how many people know Old Canada? So I raised my hand. I sang it once, twice. And it was like 15 people who raised their hand. They said, okay, everybody else can go. Okay, so people sang and sang. You know, I was like the 8th singer. And I said, I'm starting out with the Star Spangled Banner. Okay. Oh, say, can you see? The mic went out. And I kept singing. Well, I'm not going to wait. You know, they were under time restraint. So I kept singing. And they said, okay, thank you. I came down, fixed the mic. I said, now I'm going to sing "O Canada." They said, there's no need. You can go home. So I blew the audition. 2 days later, can you do the opener? And then they won like 12 games in a row. And they kept calling me back. And what jinxed it, we played Pittsburgh. The Pittsburgh Penguins. And Fox Sports in Pittsburgh interviewed me. Why do they win when you sing? I said, why are you doing that? You're putting a curse on it. And the Penguins won that night. So I said, well, that was fun. But they kept calling me. 20 years, 19 and a half, 20 years. So it's been a blessing.
Not just for you, but the entire city of St. Louis. And for people who are not familiar, do you sign season contracts or do you?
No, the Blues really took care of me.
Okay.
It's no contract. But Mr. Zimmerman took care of me. The Blues franchise took care of me. Anything I needed, you know. I was in the hospital because I had a cat bite and almost left. God said it's not time yet. But I had this roommate, and all of a sudden these flowers came in from the Blues. He goes, well, who are you? Yeah, I'm like, I'm nobody. Why did the Blues send you flowers? I guess they like me. You know, he didn't know I sang the anthem for the Blues. It was still kind of fresh. And then the Rams sent flowers. He goes, well, who are you?
I love how humble you are, because maybe he was asking that then, but no one needs to ask you who you are now.
Oh, I think he knows who I am now.
I would think so. So can you please describe some of the differences in the different venues? You mentioned with the Blues, everyone's right there. When you're singing at the Dome, oh my gosh, that's huge. And then you sing at Busch Stadium, that's open air.
Absolutely.
Does it change how you project and how you sing the song?
It does. Like when you sing at the arena, and the last time I sang at the arena was for the Battlehawks, caw. You have to have your inner ear. Sometimes they put a monitor in front of you so you can hear yourself, but you have to use your inner ear, and you can't pay attention to the bounce back. And it's the same with Busch Stadium. You know, you can't listen to the bounce back or it'll throw you off. You have to listen to your inner ear as if you're singing in a cup. And that way it keeps you in tune, and you're just listening in your inner ear, and you're not listening to the echo. But my favorite place, I can't say that on TV.
Oh, you can.
Yeah, okay. The
Enterprise
hockey
Center.
arena is fine. The hockey arena is my place.
Mm-hmm.
That's home.
Mm-hmm.
That's home. I love singing at the football arena. I love singing at Busch. Really do. But Stiefel,
Mm-hmm.
The Enterprise Center,
Mm-hmm.
can't beat it.
And it was your home for 2 decades.
Yes, it was.
In those 2 decades, did you ever imagine that the St. Louis Blues would win the Stanley Cup?
I went along for the ride. And what happened was, real quick story. January 6th, which was my birthday, I came in to the Blues office because my MS was progressing, and it was hard to get around. So I came in, I said, this will be my last year, and I can't do this anymore. And Mr. Jason Pippy was the marketing manager there, and he says, well, what if we go to the playoffs? I said, man, we're in last place. Unless we buy tickets, we're not going to the play. Well, what if we go to the play? He's very enthusiastic.
Mm-hmm.
I love that guy. I said, well, if we go to the playoffs, I'm going, and I'm with you.
Mm-hmm.
What if we go to the Stanley Cup Finals? Man, we're in last place. He goes, well, what if we go? I said, well, I'm with you. Next thing you know,
It's June and we're still playing hockey.
yeah, and then Game 6. Now, Game 6, I was telling my wife, I was looking at the schedule. Game 6 of the finals.
Mm-hmm.
We're avid theater geeks, and every year we go to the Tony Awards. We're not going this year. We might. But anyway, she says, I said, Game 6, the Tony Awards are going on, and we had already bought our tickets, our airline tickets, our hotel, the tickets to the Radio City Music Hall.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, I'll get a sub to sing the national anthem for Game 6. She looked at me and she says, there's only one Game 6. We can go to the Tony Awards anytime. But there's only one Game 6, and you're going to be there. I said, okay.
Your wife was right. For all of
Yeah, I
St.
love
Louis
her.
and humanity, thank you for her saying that. You mentioned MS.
Yes.
How are you doing?
Today's a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Today's a good day. Some days are better than others. A lot of people don't understand the severity of MS. And sometimes as it progresses, sometimes you feel like you can't move. You can't, it all depends on what lesions are in your head. This controls either your hands or your legs. In my case, it's my legs and sometimes my hands. But you got to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
You got to keep going. I'm dealing with it. I sat one night, it was 100 degrees, and I'm at the Muni. And I'm looking at Dreamgirls, and Jennifer Holliday was doing her last performance, and she has MS. And she was great. And I looked at my daughter, I said, if she can do it, I can do it. Mm-hmm. And my daughter Elizabeth always says, Daddy, you got this. You got this, And that's my strength.
Mm-hmm.
Between my wife, my grandkids, and my daughter, that's my strength.
Mm-hmm.
And the Lord, that's my strength.
When were you diagnosed?
Diagnosed 2015.
When did you decide to start talking publicly about it?
I didn't mind. I mean, everybody has a cross to bear.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it be cancer, heart conditions, or abuse of alcohol or drugs. Everybody has a cross to bear, and MS is my cross to bear. So I wanted to make it public so people won't hide that they have it. It's nothing to be ashamed of. And I'll go to a game or something, and somebody comes up to me and they'll say, listen, I've had MS for 3 years. And I'll pull them aside and I say, how are you dealing with it? How is your family dealing with it? Who's your doctor? How is your spirit? And it's important to address this. We went on an MS cruise one time, and I guess about 7 years ago. And they said, you have to have a cart to get around the ship because it's a big boat. And I said, I don't want one. I need to walk. I need to walk. So I walked everywhere. And a lot of the MS patients are like, well, who in your family has MS? I said, I do. You see this stick in my hand? I do. But it's important to keep moving, because once you don't, you lock. And about a month ago, I was in the hospital. And after I got out of the hospital, when you're laying in bed in the hospital, your legs cease. And it's hard to move around. So you got to work it back up. It's a long journey, but you got to keep moving. Got to keep moving,
What you're saying is kind of reminding me of the Blues back in January of 2019. They were last, but they kept moving. They kept moving.
Oh, yeah. That fired me up. If they can do it, I can do it. Let's do it together. And I'll see some of those people from 2019, and they will stop me. And they how you doing? How's the MS? This, that, and the other. This is my uncle. This is my cousin. This is my, it's one family. It's one big. It's not like, okay, we won the Stanley Cup, we'll see you later. No, it's not like that at all. And I didn't expect that. But the Blues have been nothing but great with me, and I appreciate it. I really do.
And we appreciate your time today. We're up against another break. So as we do take this break, maybe share this with someone who has been diagnosed with something, who does have a cross to bear, and they're deciding how open they are with it. I think there's a lot of healing when you do share what you're going through and what other people are going through. We are thrilled to be here with Charles Glenn. We'll be back in 2 minutes. We have a few more minutes together here with Charles Glenn. And Charles, I am so intrigued that your start on singing the national anthem professionally was almost happenstance. The person who was supposed to do it at the convention was not there. They came to you and said, can you do it? And you go, sure, of course I can.
Right.
A few years ago, I was emceeing an event to raise money for cancer research. I was emceeing it. And the head of the event came up to me a few minutes before it starts, and Denise Times was going to be singing
the Queen.
The Queen, thank you, is supposed to be singing the national anthem. And Margie, the gal in charge, comes up and goes, Denise is stuck in traffic. We need you to sing the national anthem. And I go, oh, absolutely not. And she goes, well, if Denise doesn't make it and you don't do it, we're not going to have it. I'm like, you're not going to have it. Like, this is not going to happen. Luckily, Denise made it in time. The Queen, it was just beautiful. It was perfect. And
she is fantastic.
Isn't she?
She's fantastic.
Oh, my gosh. And I get home that night, and I'm telling my husband, I'm like, do you think I missed my chance? And he goes, nope. I go, but what if? He goes, there would have been no what if, Laura. It's a really good idea. You didn't do that. And it's such a great thing that you did do that, and you put yourself out there.
Yeah, it's all or nothing.
So one of the first times I went to a blues game, you sang. It was 2003, my very first blues game.
Mm-hmm.
And I knew nothing about hockey. It was so cool. Pun intended, I was freezing.
Yes.
And I don't know if it was at that time, but then as I came back as an adult, I realized the blues fans replaced the final word of the national anthem.
Rice.
Do you remember when they started changing that to
I guess,
blues?
I think it was like 6 years before we went to the Stanley Cup finals, when we were making the playoffs, and they were trying to make it a St. Louis thing, and the home of the blues.
Mm-hmm.
First time I heard it, I said, "You didn't like it?" No, we said blues. Okay.
So you thought they were booing you?
At first, I'm like, what's going on?
I kind of thought it too. My first time, again, hearing it as an adult, I was like, is everyone mad?
No, they're mad, but in a crazy way.
Yes.
You know, blues fanatics are wild.
And when they say blues, it really does drown out your final word of brave. Do you still say brave, or did you say blues?
I still say brave.
Okay.
Because that's the song. Well, sometimes I say, in the home of the... You take it, you know.
And isn't that cool that the crowd is so involved?
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's one family. It's one family. You go to Plaza Frontenac to get your wife some perfume. You're the blues guy. You're the blues guy. You go Goodfella to get some barbecue. Man, you're the blues guy. You know, okay. You know, it's one family. Mm-hmm. You know, you go to the Hill. Sometimes we go to a restaurant and we'll order food on the Hill, like at Guido's. Cheap plug. And they said, the bill's on us. Thank you. Thank you for your service. I said, all right. We'll be back tomorrow.
Yes, let's do this again. And the day after that, too. Even though you no longer sing the national anthem for the regular season blues games, you are still a very active singer. Please tell me a little bit about what you and your band do.
Well, we do corporate events. We do weddings. We do concerts. We stay busy. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm older, the band is taking off, but they always help me out. They always help me out, and we try and put on the best show we possibly can. But now I'm doing trios and duos with my wife and other musicians, and we still stay busy. Mm-hmm. We still stay busy. So, and then just recently, I was in the music department at my church for years. And then I quit about 4 years ago. And I said, no, I need to go back. So I'm not in the music department. I'm in the choir. And it feels so good. Mm-hmm. It feels so good. You know, I don't get paid for it, but that's not the point. The point is my heart feels good singing it, even if I'm hitting the wrong notes, you know.
I doubt you're ever hitting the wrong notes.
Ooh, you never know.
But what a special way to give back. And also the church is where so many people learn about their own gift of singing. And I'm sure you've seen young people realize it there.
Oh, yeah. Anybody that wants to learn, I'll do what I can. I was teaching at Missouri Baptist for about 3 years, because I don't count COVID. And the students that I had, they were fantastic. They were fantastic. Each had their own original voice. And I tried to teach them that your voice is your voice. You don't have to sing like Stevie Wonder. You don't have to sing like Michael Jackson. You don't have to sing like Diana Krall. It's your voice. enhance your voice, and you'll be proud of what you got.
And what are some ways that you have enhanced your voice?
Learning as many styles as I possibly can. For instance, my wife and I this past year, we've done like 3 concerts with orchestra, full orchestra. We did it at Washington U. We did it at the Kirkwood Performing Arts Center. Mm-hmm. And so with that, you sing all sorts of genres, styles of music. My wife does it better than I do, but I try and keep up. But it's so much fun to fall back and have an orchestra holding you up. I even did it with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra for the Cancer Society. And it's beautiful. Mm-hmm. So anytime that you can sing different genres of music, different styles of music, I'll even kick it with a rock band. I did it for years. I'll do it again.
Goes back to your roots.
Yeah.
So what is your favorite song to perform?
There are no favorites. There are no favorites. I mean, okay, my favorite songs. Okay, jazz, anything by Al Jarreau, Kurt Elling, Gino Vanelli, anything like that. Rock, Journey, Emerson, Lake and Palmer. We're going back, we're going back. I'll even say 38 Special. R&B, Stevie Wonder, Luther Vandross, Sam Cooke. That's my genre.
And do you know all the words to these songs too?
At that night. But I'm older now. I have a tablet.
It's pretty nice, isn't it?
But a lot of the songs I've been singing for years, and so I don't really need it. So, it's in your heart, not in your head.
Does your daughter sing?
No, she sang with me. She sang with me in my group when I first started out. And she has a beautiful voice. She has like a Nora Jones style, very smoky. But she's like, Daddy, I can't sing with you. You're too hard. I'm your daughter. And when you're on stage, you're my boss. And I don't like that, But we did a show with Huey Lewis and the News, and they asked my choir to sing, and she sang with that. And we did Georgia Frontier's Celebration of Life at a Rams game, and she sang with that. So she can sing. My granddaughter, she can hear a song one time and know it. Now, my grandson doesn't sing, but he plays trumpet and violin. So they're going to, next semester, he's going to play trumpet and bass. So Papa has to buy him a bass. It never ends.
Gets to buy him a bass, not have to, gets to.
Yeah.
So with your mom being a singer, you being a singer, your 2 grandkids being musically inclined, and your daughter too, whether she wants to be the employee to the boss or not.
Mm-hmm. And my wife.
And your wife. Do you believe these are all nature? They were just given gifts? Or do you also believe in the nurturing too?
Both. My daughter was born for a reason. And that reason, she has a gift. And that gift is pushing you. That gift is not, Daddy, I want, no. Like when it was just she and I felt low, she would just bring me back, We're doing the anthem. Okay, well, I'm gonna be right there with you. My wife was brought in my life for a reason. She sings beautifully, and she plays in any orchestra she wants to in St. Louis. She was a president of the St. Louis Musicians Union for about 6 months. And I said I wasn't going to get heavy, but I quit calling her Nikki. I called her Kamala. She said, cut it out, but keep going, keep going. And she sang the anthem for the Chicago, against the Chicago Blackhawks. Now, she's younger than I am. So she sang, and she did really well. So we were walking back, and Jordan Bennington's father came up to me and said, hey, your daughter sang the anthem really well. I said, Mr. Bennington, that was my wife. He goes, oh.
I love that. And I love how positive you are in talking about all the beautiful people in your life and how you heap praise on them.
Well, without them, I wouldn't be here. And that's the God's truth. Without them, I would not be here. And my church family, they stuck around even when I left. I came back, they welcomed me with open arms. There's a personal reason why I left, but I got over it. It had nothing to do with the preaching, had nothing to do with the music. It's just something personal. And everybody reaches that point in their life. And then God taps you on the shoulder and says, when are you coming back home? I said, I guess I'm coming home today. So here I am.
Thanks for that tap and that nudge.
That's right.
And doesn't it happen sometimes when you're least expecting it?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We have just a couple more moments together. Are you watching the playoffs right now? Hockey.
I am. And Montreal has surprised me. Montreal has surprised me. And I tell you who I'm playing. I'm cheering for anybody. Forgive me. I'm cheering for anybody who's playing Colorado. Whoever's playing Colorado, I'm cheering for them.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I can't think of a
That's
reason.
who the owner would be.
Oh, it may be.
Okay. Spoken like a true St. Louisan. We understand that. If the Blues called you and said, hey, would you sing a couple of national anthems this upcoming season?
Oh, they wouldn't. They'd say, you're going to. But see, the thing is, they'll let me have my band play in the Budweiser Zone. And I try and get the best musicians I possibly can for that. And then that warms me up for the Blues. I've done like 2 games this past season. And anytime they call, I'm there. Trevor calls me up. Listen, we got this game against. I'm there. Okay.
He didn't even finish who
No.
it was against or when?
No. By the time he hangs up, I'm at the arena. So.
Final question. Looking back at all the times you have sang the national anthem, what's the one that sticks with you the most?
The 6th game where we lost against Boston, because I said I'm going to leave everything on ice. I'm going to leave everything on the ice. 6th game against Boston, I sang as if I was never going to sing again. And then they lost. And I felt really comfortable about that. I said, well, that means we're going to go back to Boston. And I keep in touch with Todd Adjeli. He's the anthem singer for the that Boston team. The Bruins. And we have it's a friendly rivalry because he's a fantastic singer, has that operatic voice, and his story is very interesting too, because he was a bartender, and he's still a bartender at the games, but he puts his tux on, sing the anthem, go back and serve. Real nice guy. Real nice guy. So, yeah. The 6th game, the last game we played before we won the Stanley Cup, that's the one I left everything on the ice.
And then they got it done in Boston, and you're sitting across from me right now with that beautiful ring and a lifetime of memories. And you described the gentleman in Boston as a real nice guy. I think anyone who meets you here in St. Louis would say a real nice guy with the voice of God.
Oh, bless you.
Thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
What a
Thank
treasure.
you very much for having me. You make this very easy.
Well, when I first launched this podcast, I went on social media and I asked our viewers and listeners who they wanted to hear from. You were number one, over and over and over.
Wow.
So thank you.
Thank you. If you need me back, you call me.
You got it.
All right.
And friends, until next time, thank you for listening, thank you for learning, and thank you for being live with Laura.